scared. I feel like no one's going to show up to my party.
That's the worst feeling, right?
Yeah, that's right. And, lo and behold, we kept coming in, right? And the numbers kept growing, and soon we were over 100, and then we sold out, and then there were still people who wanted to come, and I was just beside myself.
Hi, everyone. Today we have the privilege of interviewing Catherine Walter of Catherine Walter Coaching, and she has quite a niche of coaching. So tell me about your business.
Thank you, Beth. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
So I focus on supporting women who are navigating menopause and perimenopause. I'm a board-certified health and wellness coach, specializing in hormones, especially the hormonal upheaval that happens in our 40s, 50s. A lot of women aren't aware that many of their bothersome symptoms can be traced back to hormonal imbalances and the hormonal fluctuations that occur during this season of life. We moved to Lexington before the pandemic. We're newbies here. And so as you can imagine, it took a while to get settled. And as I was getting my roots set down and setting the foundation, and I was always lurking on the Facebook group, Lexington Mavens, for resources, for referrals, for recommendations, for the pediatrician, the dentist, the veterinarian, the contractors. And once I felt settled, my family was settled, I was feeling more settled, I felt like it was my time to give back. And so I put out an introduction post about myself, my family, and then I'm a hormone health coach, and kind of putting it out there if anyone's interested in attending or speaking at women's health events. It blew up. I received so many comments, so many messages, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm onto something here. There's a need here for something. And so in addition to my one-to-one coaching that I do for women in their 40s, 50s who are struggling with symptoms like the brain fog, the belly fat, fatigue, mood issues, sleep issues, hot flashes, you name it, it runs the gamut. It's very individual how a person will experience this phase in life, the intensity with which it goes through, the length of time. And they're often scrambling, they're often on their own, lost, confused, frustrated, because the current medical system, this population of women is just underserved. Medical resources are underallocated. There's a lack of research. And even if you do find a collaborative healthcare provider who can perhaps prescribe menopause hormone therapy, they're very few if you look at per capita. So there's lack of access there. So that's where a health coach can, fill that gap, help with those initial steps of education. What's going on? Is this normal? Am I going crazy? What can I do? And also help them to understand that a lot of how we can ease through this life transition has to do with lifestyle medicine, with going back to the basics, with prioritizing ourselves, making time for ourselves, being more discerning with how we nourish ourselves, from the food we eat to the way we move our bodies, to our connections, to our life purpose, to joy. So it's a very holistic approach. And as I was building my small business and I put myself out there on the Facebook Mavens, I recognized this need, and I started doing health and wellness talks at a wonderful local group, Lexington Neighbors and Newcomers, who made me feel settled and at home here in Lexington. And I started doing monthly health talks for them, very intimate setting. And it was just, it was such a wonderful response. And there was it was so empowering. The women left feeling uplifted, empowered, knowledgeable, making connections, feeling confident with next steps they want to take care of themselves. And so that was my first start with reaching out in the community. And so on the January 8th was when the very first event took place. And I brought a poster from the event. It was Menopause Therapies Unlocked, Lexington Women's Health Speaker Series. We had wonderful speakers from the community. So these are Lexington-based experts that I put forth in front of other women in the community. Dr. Anila Jha, she lives in Lexington. She's got a little adorable little tiny toddler, and she's doing a lot of great work at Harvard, teaching the next generation of doctors about menopause care. Carol Sullivan, registered dietitian, and Deb Gowan, certified nurse midwife, over 40 years of experience around supporting women going through menopause. She lives she lives in Arlington. So I remember the event itself, it went so smoothly, which is amazing for a first event.
Right, no, for sure.
Everyone showed up, the speakers were there, we started on time, we kept to time. But more importantly, there was a cohesiveness among the speakers, even though it's such a multidisciplinary. We have very classical, mainstream trained doctor, and we have a more integrative nurse practitioner than we have from the nutrition piece.
Right.
And then myself, I was a hormone health coach talking about lifestyle medicine for menopause, perimenopause. And yet we all gelled, there was a great flow. And I was the Q&A that ensued. It was a 30-minute Q&A, and we thought, menopause, maybe women aren't really comfortable raising their hand in such a large setting. So we actually were distributing index cards, so they would just write down their questions anonymously. But at the end of the day, hands were raised, questions were coming, intimate questions, raw discussions. It was just incredible for me. It was just this dynamic, engaged, intimate Q&A, and of course the speakers did a great job with very thoughtful, caring answers. And yes, one lady did submit the index card, but by far the majority were very comfortable being open about it because we were in a community of women who were in the same path, right? Who were going through the same things. And I think that's when it all clicked for me, and I didn't want this to be a one and done event. I wanted to build a community, a community of women to offer support, because I don't believe we should navigate this phase of life alone. I'm 46 now. I've been struggling through perimenopause since my very early 40s. And at the beginning, I definitely felt alone. I had over a dozen symptoms. I wasn't the kind of mom I wanted to be. I couldn't build up my small business, right? It was all I had just to get through the day. Thankfully, I'm a health coach. I have a wonderful collaborative team of healthcare professionals. I do specialize in hormones. So I had so much more knowledge and access to help than the average woman. I still struggled, right?
Right.
And yet now with this is just testament to my healing, my being able to manage my symptoms, eliminate a lot of those that I had at the start, and now manage any other ones that remain, because it is a journey, but I wouldn't have the capacity to do all this if I hadn't taken care of myself and everything, that onslaught of perimenopausal symptoms that hit. So I also believe I like that for other women too, right? The aftermath of this event, I decided to build this community, I decided, well, what's a great container where I can nurture this community? And I thought Facebook groups, right? And so again, I'm very new. I've never had a Facebook group before, but I thought, oh my gosh, we need to do something. So in my thank you email, I was like, who wants to continue building this community, be part of shaping this initiative? Here's the Facebook group. Bam, we had 100 members very shortly.
Right? I believe it.
And then my head was reeling, what's next? And we do have a few summer things. I've been sampling, we've been trying smaller scale events as well, in addition to the big quarterly events. Again, just opportunities for education and connection and building this community. So we had an informal, just a casual meetup at Il Casale.
Oh, nice.
Let's talk menopause. And I thought, again, who's going to show up and who's going to want to talk? But a dozen ladies came together, and it was like, here's my name. Here are my symptoms.
Right?
What's going on? Right?
That's nice.
And everyone felt like validated, energized, uplifted, right? Hopeful.
Right.
So it was really powerful. And I've been doing, at the Lexington, the Dragonfly Boutique, Mariel.
Yes.
She had me over to do an unfiltered menopause Q&A. It's for a lovely, intimate setting. She's amazing. She's so busy. And
and she's
such and yet she still takes the time and effort to host these conversations that are so important for the community. So we'll be doing another one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
June 12th.
All right.
Coming up.
Nice.
Dragonfly Boutique in the evening. 6:30 welcome, and then 7 p.m. we start.
Nice.
Then I'm doing a workshop next Thursday evening from 7 p.m. at Heidi's beautiful
House 403.
I love that place. I'm meeting there later.
So peaceful.
For a latte.
So peaceful.
So peaceful, the vibe. I don't know how she transformed it. It's kind of a busy intersection corner.
Right.
You're going through those doors.
It's just like zen. It really is. It's surprising how peaceful it feels.
I know.
It's a great place.
So she has a beautiful event space upstairs. So I'll be holding this intimate workshop. It's around And kind of based on my work with perimenopausal and menopausal women, the nutrition mistakes I see women making all the time that are harming them and are exacerbating any symptoms. So it's just going to be distilled. These are the top kind of nutrition mistakes women make through perimenopause, menopause, and how to avoid them.
Nice. Okay.
So it'll be very focused. I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting. And we can find all this stuff on your Facebook page, right?
You can find it on my website.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll make sure everyone has that info.
Thank you.
So.
And there's more to come. We're already brainstorming with some experts the fall activities. We're talking, in addition to the quarterly event we just talked about, advocating for yourself in the healthcare system, we'll be having monthly weighted vest walks.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
You are. Backpack, weighted vest or not. Again, the sense of walking and talking around that topic, as well as Amy and I will be running a menopause book club.
Oh, that's fun. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
And,
lots of good things.
So discussions with the Monroe Center. And they're going to put on a printmaking class for exploring perimenopause through art.
Wow.
So the transformation.
Nice. Wow, you're really doing a whole lot. That's amazing.
Thank you. I think I can't do without everyone in the community, women coming,
Still, though,
being honest, right? And
it's just nice that you have so many avenues that you're working in. So.
we're testing all these things out.
Right.
If you show up, we'll keep doing it.
Right, exactly, right? Until you have the party where no one shows up, it's a good party. So
That's right.
So nice. Well, it was very nice to meet you. Thanks
so
for
much.
doing this with us. We
Thanks so much for
appreciate
taking
it.
the time.
Sure.
Really great.
Good.